Okay. Hello, my name is Kyler. I have a part-time woodworking business. It's called KP Woodworks. Um, I love woodworking. Been doing it for 10 years now. I decided to turn it into a small side business, and it's been great. With that, I've ventured into the new realm of lasers and CNC. So over the last year, I have upgraded from a 10-watt diode to a full 60-watt Omtech. So apologies in advance. I am not a fancy video person or anything like that. I dabble with some videos, but that's as good as it's going to get. So the purpose of this video is I just recently upgraded my Air Assist kit, and I used the Laser Artifex group. So I wanted to post a video online about it because there are no instructional videos out there. And if there are, they're out of date. And on top of that, the instructions they sent leave a ton to be desired. The graphics are out of date. The verbiage is out of date. The all of the lines and everything, nothing. It took me 3 hours to figure out how to plug this kit up, and they advertise it as a plug and play kit. So truly, if you know what you're doing and you know what to look for, and you have simple, effective instructions, you'll be able to take this kit, and it really is a plug and play. After getting it all set up, doing a few test cuts, it is phenomenal. I do not regret going with them, but I do regret the pain in the butt and the hassle along the way from the small things that make a difference. If you're just looking into it and you're thinking about it, it's a 3 to 4 week processing time. Why? I don't know. I don't know if they're a big company. I thought they were based off their website. It's very professional looking. They got back to me pretty good and answered my questions, but they don't ship out for almost a month. So you got to wait a month, and then when you get there, you're going to be infuriated by the instruction manual that they give you. And they just have on their website, they did have a version 2 video of installation and everything, and they've taken that down and say a new video will be up soon. But with their instructions, once again, I wouldn't plan on that being anytime soon. So I'm just going to do a quick down and dirty run through of how I hooked it up, what you need to do to get it operating, and we'll go from there. If you have any questions based off this video, look me up on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. It's KP Woodworks LLC. I'm a police officer, so it's the saw blade with a thin blue line in the middle as my logo. Feel free to shoot me messages on there. I'm not really responsive on YouTube because I put like 2 videos up and they don't get views. So if this helps at least one person, I'm game. So basically, I'm going to take you through. So here is on the bottom is the base kit, which I got. They told me I didn't need to worry about the upgrade, so I don't even remember what the difference was. But the base kit is basically right there, and that's what it's going to come with. This is the leftovers of I've got. Ignore that. There's just a little bit left in the bag, a couple of things. There's some wire holders, some zip ties, a couple fuses, a couple more couplings. I did not touch the 20-foot wire air hose at all. Otherwise, I used everything else up. So, ill prepared, excuse me. I'm gonna get my handy dandy light and we're gonna go over here and check it out. Excuse my 60 board foot of teak. So, let's see if I can get this light functioning for us. Like I said, apologies in advance. I'm not great at this, but it really is easy. It seems like a lot. I know it does, but bear with me here. So the first thing that you're going to want to set up that I did that made it easy was the button. So it's this button right here. Basically, you pick a place on your laser where you want it. I chose right there. It was easy to wire in. All you have to do is drill a hole. They do have the instructions there, and it's that black wire up there. So I drilled the hole here because it's right there with all the other buttons. And then I routed the wire down through here and straight into the panel down here. So it's this big black wire that my light's hitting. So just ignore the wire mess. I promise we'll get through it. So that wire comes down here and it plugs into this. So let me get a little closer. So you have if they're consistent on their products, it'll say Laser Artifex there, and on the top right hand corner, if you're looking at it, that top right port goes back up here into the button. So it comes down here. Now, here was the really confusing part. The green piece right there goes and plugs directly into your machine. Now, it was an empty port. It just had the little black piece. And once again, I'm sorry for the lighting. It's not great, but we'll get right here. Zoom in. Okay. So the white box right here, it's the bottom port on the white box on the bottom right. Now this is for a 60 watt Omtech autofocus, and I believe the 80 watts are the same. So the second piece, like I said, goes from here and goes right down in here on the white box on the bottom right hand side. Once again, there was an empty port there with no wire sticking out, so you just remove that and plug it in. The next thing, and I'm running backwards, but it's a little more easier to comprehend. So the next thing is the gray cable right here. So if you're looking at it right smack dab right there, it's the middle port on the right hand side. It's going to run straight over here to your solenoid piece, which is that magnetic piece right there. Now the important thing to remember there is you got to look on the other side and see that arrow right there. Just make sure you got the airflow direction correct. So this black tube right here is coming from the head of my laser. So this is where the air goes directly in. So I hooked that up to the outer piece. Once again, that flow direction's going this way into the laser. So you hook this up right here. And then as far as that, the solenoid piece is just that wire and the piece itself. Now, here's where I cut my 10-foot hose up. Super simple. I drilled a hole into the back of this, and they give you a grommet with it. It's a 3/8 inch hole. You drill that, stick that rubber grommet there. It's not going to cut and mar and jar the wire. I call it a wire, but it's a hose. So from the solenoid piece here, we're going out to the air compressor. We go over to the next piece of equipment. Get some light down here. So it's this doodad, doohickey, catalytic converter, whatever you want to call it. It's where the water goes and dispels. So you'll just hook this piece up somewhere on the back of your laser or somewhere near your air compressor. You're going to route that line out and just use enough line to get from here to here, which was maybe being gracious. I gave it 14, 15 inches just for shiggles. And then you take the other line and you run it straight back to your air compressor. And they give you the piece to go with it, and it plugs right in. So overall, that's about it. I'm going to run through the other way now just to make sure we covered all the boundaries. It really is simple. There's not much to it. Their instructions were not clear on where stuff had to go. The labeling on the power outlet or the power supply box that you plug into, it's whatever they call it in the instruction manual. It's not the same. So it's super simple. We'll run through from the air compressor real quick back up to the button at last. So you'll start. You have your piece here. Comes there. You just plug your hose into here and you push this black piece right here in, and you push it in and it compresses, and that's when you can pull the hose out. So push it down and then stick the hose in and then let it come back up, and you'll have your solid grip. So you're going to take that, you're going to run it right up here. You're going to run it into this bad boy, same way. And then you're going to run some more wire from that bad boy into the solenoid, making sure your airflow goes the right way. So with the way my laser's set up, here's the side panel. This is on the right side of my 60 watt Omtech autofocus. It's the 2028. So if you have the same version of mine, this little doohickey right here controls the flow of air that's free flowing to your nozzle. So you turn it to the left and it decreases pressure, turn it to the right and it increases. Now the important thing about this bad boy is you just, when it's running, you want just a whisper of air coming out. I mean, it would be for me and their instructions. I do want just a hint, just a little bit of air coming out while I'm engraving, but I don't want the air assist on while I'm engraving because it messes with it. It's not that great of an engraving. So just take that piece, turn it, and once everything's hooked up, plugged in and everything, you'll go up here to your bed and just stick your finger under here and you'll feel the airflow, the free airflow. If everything's hooked up and running, you got to have your machine on and everything plugged in, super simple. And then you'll just adjust it with that knob. So once again, we go from the solenoid piece right here. It's our gray wire, and ignore the wire mess because I haven't had time to clean up and see where I'm going to put everything yet. Gray wire. And be careful here because it seems like they're a little weak. I'm curious about that. Time will tell. Plug it into the middle port, looking at it straight on the right side. The top right port is going to lead right up here to our button again. That's our button piece. And like I said, you have a 16 millimeter hole you have to drill for that. And I had a ride, I'd used the stepper bit like they said, and it wasn't cutting through. And then I switched to a regular drill bit from DeWalt. And I cut a 3/8 inch hole. And it bit through the metal and it cut through really quick. So be careful if you're going to use that regular bit. Because if you put it where I put mine, right here, you've got wires from your switches here that are back there and you don't want to cut them. So like I said, 16 millimeter hole, punch through with a 3/8 drill bit if you have one, and then use the stepper bit to get to 16 millimeters. And then all you got to do is just funnel it through there, funnel it down, and then it plugs into the base here. And then once again, we have our connector piece that actually goes from the control board here, and it goes up into here, over to this white power supply or whatever this is. Still learning my terms. And it goes on the bottom right hand side, and there will be, once again for the third time, there will be an empty port. You'll just unplug that and take it out. So overall, that's really about what it is with my instructions, even as clear as mud as they can be. I hope they were simple enough to get. And if you have any questions, just reach out. The important thing that I haven't went over is there is a couple of steps that you follow in the manual. And I don't remember what page it's on, but it's once you get to the setup part. So just go scroll down to wherever you're setting up. And you have to switch that on the solenoid piece, not solenoid, on the control board piece where everything plugs into. There is a switch inside of it, and you have to switch it to a 1 and back to a 2 when you're doing the programming phase. But their instructions, once you plug into Lightburn and they're on, were clear. I understood those were easy. So if you want, use my video to hook it up and get everything plugged in. That will get you working, hands down. I spent 14 minutes explaining this to you, and it took me 3 hours to figure it out. Once again, great product. I give the product itself, after just a couple of cuts, 5 stars. My cuts were splendid. And that's at the preset air that they've got. And overall, I would recommend the product if you're willing to wait a month. I chose them over Liberty Controls. Liberty Controls has great reviews, but I chose Laser Artifex because it was, from my research and understanding, it was slightly more plug and play. I wanted less messing around and I just wanted the simplicity of plug and play, and I paid for it with their crappy instructions. Either way, if you're following this and you bought their kit, it's a great kit. Hands down, recommend. You got to wait that 3 to 4 weeks before it actually ships, and then it takes a week and a half to get to you. So don't sit around waiting on it, because you'll just go drive yourself insane like I did. That was the one thing I was waiting on for a month. Did I mention it took a month? It's not ideal, but maybe they're a one-man band like Liberty Controls is, but at least he's open about it and says, hey, it takes a while. I didn't see that anywhere on their website, and then all of a sudden after my order pops up, I see it. So I don't know if they added it on there afterward, or if it was there and I'm just a dum-dum. I could be, and I missed it, but I looked everywhere to see how long it would take, and I couldn't find anything until I reached out to them, and now it's plastered on the first page of their website. So great product, crappy instructions. Once you get through it all, it's really not that bad. Once again, if you have any questions, look me up at KP Woodworks LLC. This is the Laser Artifex version 2 upgrade air assist kit, the base kit of theirs, not their pro kit, their base kit. And my machine is a 60 watt 20 by 28 autofocus Omtech. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out and I will help you in any way I can. And maybe I'll give you my phone number or something if you need a video, and we can figure it out. I don't mind helping another person if it saves them the headache that I had. So I hope take care, and I appreciate you.